Welcome to Agriculture Science 465, a class taught at Montana State University by Florence Dunkel.
The role play is, again, something that we do in order to better understand the different roles that the people play in the community. What we do is introduce the community. Are there any questions? Does everybody have a review sheet? This is my opportunity to check and see whether you have done your cultural background, whether you understand a little bit about the character you're playing.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to go on ahead and start off our role play with a little narration, introduction to the characters. Right now, our project had been led to the Crow Reservation, 2.2 million acres, 15,000 enrolled members of the Crow tribe, a lot of high rate of poverty, crime, but also there's an enrichment and strength of revitalizing the culture and sustaining it. The 107th Meridian Committee involves a lot of the elders ranging from 70 to 90 years old. The involvement was the students, Montana State University students, as well as Professor Dr. Dunkel. He's playing Andrew. This is the real Andrew. And then we have our lady here, Dr. Valerie Small, presenting her thesis. We'll also have our elder, Newt Okro, that was conducting the meeting. And then I myself that was involved with the research and also hearing the elders about the berry picking services. I myself had got to spend just a couple of nights with my family. I am married and I have 4 children. Just getting up in the morning and knowing that how the morning is, you hear the train. You always hear the train going through the Crow Reservation, especially Crow Agency. And then I headed on over to the meeting, and we're going to start that elders meeting.
Today we have to introduce Dr. Valerie Small to talk about a very important issue, interesting and important things to tell us about the invasion of Russian olive trees, and to pass it on over to Dr. Small.
Hello, I am Dr. Valerie Scott Small. I just finished my PhD at Colorado State University in ecology. We study weed science, and I'm looking at the Russian olive as an invasive species. Their presence is affecting the growth of young cottonwoods. And when we do our Sundance ceremonies, we need the saplings from the young cottonwood. I've started some plots to observe small cottonwood seedlings, looking at regrowth saplings from stumps. Livestock also prefer cottonwood seedlings over Russian olive. And the importance of the cottonwood is that they can draw up heavy metals from the earth, especially from fertilizers and pesticides and herbicides that are used in ag production. And their root system can prevent sedimentation. Going on a side note of sustainable food systems, the Russian olive is affecting traditional foods such as buffalo berry, chokecherry, and wild plum. The distance to travel to harvest those traditional foods is becoming greater. Just as a side note, one thing that Valerie said that struck me was that water is part of us and we are part of it. As long as you take care of your water, it will take care of you. Pollution from pesticide and herbicide, people have been getting skin irritations. And Russian olive is changing the landscape.
How do you get rid of them?
How do we get rid of them? Mechanically uprooting them. Firewood. Using them for firewood.
Okay, thank you. Now Tracy has something very important to talk about with us today about picking berries.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Slalexus. My parents are John and Francine Small. I have 4 children. I'm attending Montana State University, and I come before you today about a focus on a project with berry picking, but I would also like to be very thankful about everybody being here today. The berry picking services that be brought back to the elders and the youth, that there's gonna be a connection there. The Crow people are very hard workers. A lot of that has been lost about that work ethic to go out there and pick the berries. But what more has been lost is that the elders and the youth storing and processing and knowing what are the recipes that are out there. I hear a lot of the sites now that are available. There's another community on the reservation that are taking those berry picking sites, such as the Hutterites. And with that concern, what we also wanted to hear is the history of the berry picking, because there's so much history with the tools. Does anybody even remember the tools? Do you remember the berries that were up there, up in the mountains? It seems that we're getting a lot of the comments here now that your grandchildren aren't even picking the berries, that they don't even know how to pick the berries. They don't even know where the best berry picking sites are. But we have opportunities here to go on ahead and compile the history and the recipes and the participation as we go into a smaller level to get this research and this information with the elders here today. I also want to introduce other members of the project. If you want to come on up, Andrew.
So I'm Andrew. I'm here to observe as the non-native student to learn stuff. First thing is to get to know the people that I'm going to be working with, the Crow. Number two, who are the people and where do they come from? Why are these traditions important? And why do students like myself want to get involved? I'm really just here to observe, listen, and learn.
It seems like some time ago, people forgot these important things, the importance of these plants, that we also have to take care of our animals too. We can't make an elk-tooth dress. It takes hundreds of teeth. And they only have 2 teeth in each elk that they can use for the dress. And it's important that we don't forget about these plants and these animals and everything.
Okay, well, you did a great job. Thank you so much.
My name is Meredith Caldwell, and I'm an elder of the Ronan Cheyenne Reservation, 440,000 square acres. We have over 10,000 tribal members. I'm having dinner tonight with Josette Woodenlegs and Linwood Caldwell.
Long, long ago, before there were people, water was everywhere. Mahia, the creator, was floating on the water. All the water birds were swimming nearby. The ducks, geese, swans, and other birds that swim, Mahia called to them and asked them to bring him some earth. One after another, the birds dove down deep through the deep water, searching for earth. The large birds tried again and again, but they could not reach the bottom. At last, a small blue duck, a coot or a mud hen, came to the surface with a dab of mud in its bill. The duck swam to Mahia, who took the mud and worked it between his fingers until it dried and turned to dust. He took the dust and placed it in little pieces atop the water. Each pile of dust became land that grew and grew until as far as the eye could see, there was land everywhere. This is how the earth we walk on was made.
I am Meredith Caldwell, and I am an elder on the reservation. I have begun trying to create a botanical garden for the reservation for educational purposes. I have sought the help of Florence Knuckles' class for Alabama to work in hand with me and Linwood on looking into the yucca plant, while Tim Moley looks into the yarrow.
My name is Linwood Tallbull. I'm a botanist at Chief Dolknife College. I have a very different view than my cousin. I am more of a traditional non-Western approach to plants and the meaning of plants to our tribe. We still work together to produce, or we're trying to produce a way of getting these type of plants and work them back in with the education process of having children come out and help us with these botanical gardens.
Hi, I am Josette Woodenlegs, and I work at the Chief Del Knife College. I am more with Linwood about traditional ways of education and how important language is. And I don't agree with Meredith on his ways. I don't really like to work with him because I think traditional ways are more important than scientific ways.
So how should we go about this process? Getting these botanical gardens involved with the school system and involved with the people that live on our land?
I believe we should be using the elementary school, which is located across the street, to promote education of our elders and the plan set that we have used for hundreds of years as far as their physical usage. We need to remember that these plants are the things that we still have on the reservation to use, and we must use them through the botanical garden to teach the children so that they may teach their children.
We should also teach the kids that the plants are connected to us and we are connected to them as well. They have feelings, they're kind of our relatives, and we have to take care of them so they can also take care of us.
I disagree. I think we should be, but I think that the educational and scientific approach is going to be the most useful to carry on.
I disagree too. I think that they should be, there's many different ways of teaching these plants of how you're supposed to not go out and pick them if you're upset or if you have certain emotions, because those emotions can be carried on, to the people that you're trying to help or trying to heal, and to make sure that that's carried on through our kids in a non-Western type of way.
And taking care of the botanical garden is what lives there, such as insects, and I feel that the children under the age of 2 need to know what kind of bugs they are, how to take care of them and stuff like that, because they also connect with us.
How do you think we could use the Montana State students, Alan and Tim, to look further into your book, and how is their Western approach to knowledge going to help you with your book?
I think, they have a different outlook on the whole situation, on plants and the botanical gardens in general. That kind of outsider perspective will be very important in not only creating the botanical garden, but implementing that into the school system, so have these children know it back and forth, so that we can come up with activities that gets them involved.
I think that MSU has great education, and I think from their point of view, we could see their flaws from a different perspective, and we could just suggest to them what our views are. You have to change this, you have to change this, blah, blah, blah.
And they could also read my other book about the Cheyenne people, and it'll give them insight into the old traditions of the Cheyenne people, apply that to the research and working together with Meredith or myself and Meredith.
I have a audio recording of you and Wood at our last meal together that I'd like to share with Josette over here.
It's real good for people that have allergies to bees. But the key is you have to calm yourself down. If you're looking for this plant and your mindset isn't right, you're not going to find it. If my wife got angry with me, I got no business picking plants. When you touch them, you remember how we shake hands? A lot of people like these real firm handshakes. They prove that you're a strong man and while the Indians don't have a handshake like that. We have a soft handshake because that's how we're going to shake hands with the Creator. This is how you pick plants. Then you get that healing process going. It's very easy unless you start looking at it scientifically and stuff.
The children in the future generation, and after we're gone, we want them to remember the traditional way, so they will remember it forever.
Yeah, thank you.
Very, very nice.
We're both planning on going back after spring break to meet with Linwood and Meredith together, hopefully.
Good.
So maybe I'm going to bring my camera and get a full recording of our conversation.
Because we're going to try to do another project too, for another class kind of simultaneously, so.